New York. The UN Security Council on Tuesday recommended Secretary-General Antonio Guterres for a second five-year term as Chief of the World Organization beginning January 1, 2022. The 15-nation council held a closed meeting where it unanimously adopted a resolution recommending Guterres' name to the 193-member General Assembly for a second term as Secretary-General. India welcomes the adoption of at Union Sharp Security Council resolution recommending a second term to Sharp United Nations Secretary-General at Antonio Guterres, India's permanent representative to the Union Ambassador T. Stirumati tweeted. Last month, India had conveyed its support to Guterres for his candidature as chief of the world body for a second term beginning January 2022. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar had met Guterres at the United Nations headquarters and expressed New Delhi's support to him for his second term as the world's top diplomat. India values UNSC's leadership of the Union, especially in these challenging times. Conveyed our support for his candidature for a second term, Jaishankar said in a tweet after the meeting. Later, a press release issued by the Permanent Mission of the India to the Union also stated that Jaishankar conveyed that India values Secretary-General's leadership of the United Nations, especially in these challenging times. He conveyed India's support for his candidature for re-election for a second term. Guterres, the ninth Secretary-General of the United Nations, took oath of office on January 1, 2017 and his first term ends on December 31 this year. The term of the next Secretary-General will begin on January 1, 2022. Former Prime Minister of Portugal, Guterres served as the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees from a decade from June 2005 to December 2015. Guterres, nominated by the government of Portugal, has been the only official candidate for the position of Secretary-General and his re-election was a given. In March, Guterres had circulated his vision statement and earlier in May, laid out his case for a second term to Union member states during an informal interactive dialogue convened in the General Assembly Hall. Guterres was elected after a reformed selection process that included a public informal dialogue session in the General Assembly, involving civil society representatives, aimed at ensuring transparency and inclusivity. In his vision statement restoring trust and inspiring hope, Guterres said that the imperatives for the next 5 years include mounting a massive and enduring response to the COVID-19 pandemic and its consequences in the short term, leaving no stone unturned in the search for peace and security, making peace with nature and climate action, turbocharging the decade of action to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and advocating for a more equitable world among other issues. As we emerge from the pandemic, the Union is more relevant than ever. We must act as a catalyst and a platform for more inclusive, networked and effective forms of multilateralism. Our direction of travel is clear on peace and security, climate action, sustainable development, human rights and the humanitarian imperative. Our power to transform the current situation into a better world and future for all depends on everyone everywhere and can only be done successfully if we are resolute and resolved to combine our efforts towards our common agenda for the benefit of humanity and the planet, Guterres said in his vision statement. In January this year, Guterres had confirmed that he will be seeking a second 5-year term as chief of the World Organization. In accordance with Article 97 of the Union Charter, the appointment of the Secretary-General is made by the General Assembly, on the recommendation of the Security Council, which in effect means that any of the 5 permanent members can veto the nominee. Each Secretary-General has the option of a second term if they can garner enough support from member states. India, currently a non-permanent member of the Union Security Council for the 2021-22 term, will be President of the Union Security Council in August this year and in November 2022. Adblock Test Y.